All right, looking at this one, derivative of cosine is negative sine. You carry the angle along, and then you take the derivative of the angle. So derivative of x is 1. The derivative of y is y prime. Okay, so we're looking over here. I can see the derivative of e to the stuff is e to the stuff. But to take the derivative of this, you need product rule. So first d second plus second d first. Okay, so on this one, you have to take the and distribute on both sides. So this times 1 and this times y prime gives you this. Then this times this plus this times this. All right, now we can identify the y prime terms. So I can say, all right, let's see, I've got a y prime term right here and a y prime term right here. So I just chose to put them on this side of the equation and then move this one over, right? Move this one over here to positive. Then you factor out the y prime, and there it is. Divide by the stuff. Let's do this. Okay, so let's start with derivative of cotangent is negative cosecant squared. Carry the angle along, and then take the derivative of the angle. So that's 1 plus y prime equals, now moving to the right-hand side, derivative of y cubed would be 3y squared y prime. And then moving to the derivative of this would be 3x to the fourth ln of 3 times 4x cubed, because it's derivative a to the stuff times ln of a times the derivative of stuff. Okay, so this is the tricky part, I think, where you have to distribute this out. So this times this, that's not a big deal. X plus y, then I get a minus y prime, cosecant squared of x plus y, and I'm just going to carry all this stuff along, 3y squared y prime, plus 3x to the fourth ln of 3, 4x cubed. So now let's identify our y prime terms. That's a y prime guy, and that's a y prime guy. So let's make them all positive, and let's move them over to the right-hand side. So I'm just going to do 3y squared y prime, add this over, y prime cosecant squared of x plus y. And then on this other side, I'm going to subtract this over, right? So I get carry this one along. And I'm going to subtract 3x to the fourth ln of 3, 4x cubed. So it's my job now to factor the y prime out of these two terms. 3y squared plus cosecant squared of x plus y. Carry this guy along. Now don't ever do those little dashy things, right? You just got to do it. You just got to write it again. It's a necessary thing. Okay, so finally I'm ready to solve for y prime. So to solve for y prime, I'm going to take all of this stuff, minus 3x to the fourth ln of 3, 4x cubed, all over 3y squared plus cosecant squared of x plus y. Wow, that was a lot, right? Okay, so here we move into a little bit of different territory. So now we're going to be talking about x and y being functions of t, not y equal f of x. So when we have y equal f of x, when we say take the derivative with respect to x, that's how we get y prime. But what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be taking the derivative with respect to t. So you cannot use y prime, because y prime is designated for dy over dx. So let's look at what we've got here. Find dx over dt if dy over dt is 2 when x is 25 for this function. So because there's dt's here, I know, I'm just going to write it out, that y is a function of t and x is a function of t. so that when I take the derivative with respect to t on both sides, I get dy over dt on this side. This side here, I do chain rule. So I bring the 1/2 down, x to the, oops, I meant to write x to the negative 1/2. So I'd have x to the negative 1/2, and then times the dx over dt, and that's what that is. So then always, 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 when you have negative exponents, write them as the fractions that they are. Plug in the when information. Plug in the dy over dt is 2. Oh, and look at that. You can solve for the dx over dt. All right, let's try the next one. So here's our function. So you know this could be rewritten as this. So to take the derivative with respect to t on both sides, so it's different. So I need to get you in the habit of doing something different. So this left-hand side is dy over dt, not y prime. I'll take major points off. This will give you negative x to the negative 2 times dx over dt. All right, so now I get to plug information in. So dy over dt is negative 3. Oh, okay, there we go. And then I get to plug in x is equal to 2. Okay, I'm going to take the time to write this as negative 1 over 2 squared. And then this dx over dt carries along. Oh, will you look at that? This is, I'm going to bring it up here. Negative 3 is negative 1/4 dx over dt. Can you see that 12 is equal to dx over dt? There it is.